Hey everyone, welcome to the Niche Pursuits Challenge for Artificial Intelligence Content. This is going to be the kickoff call, and we're doing it live. We've got a YouTube live stream. We've got a few guests here live on video that you can see that they are participating in this challenge, so I'm super excited to have them there. And then we also have people here in the chat. And so today we're going to kind of cover what is this whole challenge, what's going on, why did I start this? And then we're going to cover what are some strategies perhaps that you should follow? What are some ideas for generating artificial intelligence content and some tools potentially to use? And then, of course, take some time to answer any questions that people might have. And so I do have a few things that I'm going to share on screen here as well. So let me see. You guys should be seeing this come in here in just a second. But essentially, again, this is just a kickoff call for the AI Content Challenge. And are you guys seeing my screen? Maybe give me a thumbs up if you can see that. There we go. I think it just popped up. Took a second there. Very good. So yeah, welcome to the challenge once again. I like to say, let the AI games begin. This is going to be a lot of fun because there are a ton of participants that have joined. On video is just a very small sample of participants. I have limited space of people that can actually join the video call. But to kind of go over, what is this challenge that is going on? I'm actually going to just go back to the original post here that I made, on the Niche Pursuits community forum. So for people that are maybe just joining live that haven't actually joined the challenge or watching this video later, what's going on here? Well, I challenged participants to build an SEO site with AI generated content. And I've decided to award the winner $2,500 after a period of 6 months. Okay. So people have 6 months to build an SEO site using artificial intelligence, and I'm going to be looking at the organic traffic. So if you look at these kind of points here, this is how I'm going to determine the winner. Is basically after 6 months, we're going to look at how much organic traffic, and so this is traffic coming from search engines, namely Google, right? So how much, but we're going to count Bing, we're going to count other search engines as well. But how much organic traffic is that site getting after a period of 6 months? And that's going to determine who the winner is. And so the challenge started officially on September 20th, just a couple days ago. And people needed to start a new domain. This is not, an existing website that they already have. Starting a new domain. Really, other than that, the rules are pretty wide open in terms of you can publish as much or as little content as you want. And essentially, the person that has the most organic traffic coming in is the winner of the challenge. Now, let me see if I missed any additional rules. Yeah, just you need to be using AI to generate most of the content. You can edit that content, you can write some of the content, but in general, most of the content should be used with AI. I am going to verify, so I do need access to Google Analytics, Google Search Console, so that I can verify where all the traffic is coming from to make sure that I pick the right winner. And then, yeah, just along the way, to make it more interesting, you must be willing to share what your AI content strategies are, what's working well for you. And we're going to have some periodic check-ins, right? So we're going to have maybe 3 or so checkpoints where I'm going to ask you to kind of report on what's working, what's your traffic levels at, and some strategies that you are potentially using. Okay, and then just to briefly go over the second challenge, because one challenge is not enough for me to handle. I'd like to do 2 challenges at once. The second one here is to grow an existing site using AI content. All right, and the rules are similar. and then I'm going to verify traffic with Google Search Console, Google Analytics. But the difference here is that this should be an existing website. So it can be really any website that you have. And I'm going to look at only the traffic coming to new content, right? So you might have a site that's already getting 1 million visitors a month. That doesn't matter. You start from zero. So how much traffic is coming to new content that you use to publish for this competition, after September 20th. And so I'm going to look at that. I'm going to use different tools to verify that. And so let's maybe pause here and let anybody here on the video chat ask questions. So these are the general rules that I have. What questions do you guys have for me?
I have a question, Spencer. Is there any restriction on buying backlinks or anything like that to ramp up the site?
I am going with the less rules, the better.
Okay.
So if you want to spend money buying backlinks, go for it. So other than the rules that I laid out, you can do any sort of SEO strategies. If you want to pay for backlinks, build them naturally, whatever you want to do. Yep. What other questions you got?
I've got a question as well. So just to clarify, no restrictions on the kind of niche you can get into or existing domain. If you want to pay and buy a domain, go for it. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so if you're asking about build a new site, you cannot buy an existing domain. You can't buy an expired domain with powerful backlinks or anything like that. You could if you wanted to, join the existing site challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
But the domains need to be new. There have been some questions around that, so I will answer that. Some people did hand register their domain, and then they found out after the fact it used to be an existing domain. It had been indexed 2 or 3 years ago on archive.org. I'm okay with that, right? Unless this could get tricky, so we're going to see who wins if it ends up being somebody that, I accidentally bought a site that has tons of backlinks pointing to it. Really, if it's in archive.org, but it doesn't have existing links pointing to it, that's really, I think that's kind of what I'm looking for here. Was there a first part to your question? I can't remember.
Sorry. Yes. No niche restrictions.
Yeah. No niche restrictions. You can go into any niche that you want. That's just fine. I've actually had people ask if they can go into a niche that is not in English. That's fine. Whatever language, either your native language or anything else, no restrictions. Yep. That's just fine.
For the existing site challenge, how are you tracking traffic to the new pages? Like, do we flag them with a tag in WordPress? Do we use a plugin that might be helpful for that that some of us may already be using?
Yes.
What's the best way to track that?
Yes. So I am going to be using RankLogic, a combination of RankLogic and perhaps Google Analytics. If there's other traffic from like Bing, say that somebody's like, oh, but I have Bing traffic, and so I'm gonna, I wasn't planning on mentioning this, but everybody that's part of the existing site challenge, I am going to get some sort of free trial or something for the period of the challenge, which is 90 days. I'm gonna get you access to RankLogic so that we can all use that plugin, because that's what I'm gonna do, is look at that, because it makes it super easy to group your content and just say everything published after this date or in this AI category, right? Or by this author. That's pretty much what I'm going to use to verify that, to make it really easy. So
awesome. Sounds great.
Yep.
Hey Spencer, Chelsea in the comments is asking if there's a limit on the number of sites we can create.
Ooh. Why not? What do you guys think? Let's make a decision on the fly. I say why not? Go for it.
I mean, I think you could spread yourself really thin, or you could do really well. So
right. Yeah. Personally, I don't know that that's a good strategy, but maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, right? Why not? Go for it. I have difficulty juggling 5 or 6 sites at once. but maybe somebody else would be able to do good. So no problem there. Okay, and I'm looking at the YouTube live chat just real quick to see if I missed anything. Not a whole lot other than what we've talked about. Any other questions that you guys have generally on the rules or how I'm gonna pick the winner or anything like that?
So
Becky-
Spencer, go ahead, April. I'm sorry.
No worries. Becky was asking in the comments too, on the existing site challenge, does it include any existing article that had a little bit of traffic and then was updated with AI? Or do they have to be totally new articles?
They have to be totally new articles after September 20th. Yep. Yep. So the idea is to, kind of see the difference. And I'm going to compare these two challenges, right? This one's like, what happens when you do have an existing site, publish a bunch of new content with AI? I'm assuming, and this challenge will play that out, that you're going to rank a lot faster and you're going to get traffic a lot quicker, right? And we'll kind of compare those results to people that have new sites and go, okay, after 90 days, they're publishing tons of content, but the traction's really low compared to existing sites. I think that's what we're going to see, but we'll find out.
I have a question as well. Do you have a hypothesis as to what we are going to learn from this challenge with so many people doing it?
I do have some hypothesis that a couple of different things. But I don't want to sway anybody, right? So I want people to do this however they want to do this. But I don't think the person that publishes the most content is going to win, right? I don't think somebody that comes in and I'm going to crank out 100,000 articles. Personally, I don't think that's going to be the winner, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think the person that puts a little bit more care and energy into the content is going to be the winner. So I think it's going to be somebody that marries the, putting the effort of maybe perhaps editing the content, doing proper site structure with a high level of content, but not an insane level of content. That's my hypothesis, but we'll find out.
So that kind of dovetails into what I'm planning on doing, which is taking AI generated content. I'm using Koala for that. And then actually taking videos, uploading the videos to the YouTube channel for the site, for an existing site, and then also taking photos to match with the DIY. So that's all okay?
That is absolutely okay. Yeah, that would be awesome. I think somebody that really puts a lot of hustle and energy is going to be head and shoulders above a lot of people, because by nature, this challenge is like, let's see how easy we can make this to publish a bunch of content, right? So you're going to get a lot of lazy people that are just, I'm going to, hook up this script and it's going to publish 100,000 articles and I'm going to do nothing else. But if people take the approach of you, April, of actually putting a little more energy, I think that's what Google is looking for. And so we'll see how that plays out. So I think it's certainly okay, and I think it's a great strategy.
And then the rules said mostly AI content. So one of the content strategies I was thinking of trying is taking AI generated images from Midjourney. So the site I'm doing is in the crafting niche. So taking AI generated images and then writing out the instructions for how to create that project without having to do a ton of projects myself. So the introduction would be AI, the conclusion, and maybe some FAQs, but the actual instructions would be human written. Is that kosher?
100% okay. Yep. The idea is, I think you nailed it well, that you can use AI as much or as little as you want, but you must use AI to generate the content in some form or fashion. And you fit that perfectly.
Spencer,
Yeah, go ahead,
do
John.
do you want to see like periodic updates on the forum? I know you mentioned there were some check-in periods, but like, do you want to see the updates? And if so, what format would you like? Like one post with kind of periodic updates from that participant, or what's your recommendation?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing we're gonna do monthly updates to get like traffic, and I'll have a form that I have you guys fill out with better instructions. So at least monthly. I may actually initially do like a 2-week check in. After a couple of weeks, we may check back in, but then after that, maybe monthly. I don't know the answer to that question exactly yet. I will create a section on the forum, and so yes, the updates will happen on the forum, but I'll create a new section for that when the updates happen. But I do think in order to keep it organized and to actually have like a leaderboard, I'll have you guys fill out my own form, sort of so Google can create a graph for me or whatever I need to do with how much content has been published, how much traffic are you getting, those sorts of things. So I will email everybody that's participating further instructions, but that's generally what I'm thinking right now.
Hey Spencer, what was your thought process behind doing only 3 months for the existing sites versus 6 months for the new sites?
Because I feel like that content should take off a lot faster. If you have an existing site with authority, it should start ranking much quicker. And part of that's what I've seen with my own experience. Like I'll show you guys some stuff I'm doing on niche pursuits here in a second, but it's ranking quickly. And so after 3 months is really enough time to see if that strategy has traction. And I don't want to drag this challenge out forever. So that's part of it. So I want to keep it short. People can stay excited for 90 days. But 6 months on the new site challenge, I feel like we need 6 months to really see traction in Google. And so that's why I made that one longer and not any longer, because if it was a year, people are going to just fade and not be interested. So that's why I made those decisions.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of Team April here in the comments.
Yeah.
Everybody's liking the strategy.
Yeah, Amit says April is scaring me. I think in a good way. He's afraid you're going to win.
Everybody should try it and let me know if it works better for them than it's going to for me.
Yeah. Again, that's what's so cool about this challenge is that I'm not trying to dictate any strategies. So, my opinion here, don't pay too much attention to it. I really do think the people that have the most creativity and the most hustle are going to be the people that win, right? And so maybe something that we haven't even talked about here on the call yet is really going to be the winning strategy. And so we've got 100 and some odd people all trying out different things. We're going to see what rises to the top. Maybe it can be something that we try, once this challenge is done, we can all, pick the best pieces and go do something else. All right. Any other questions or general thoughts on how the challenge is laid out here?
Amit's got more like a comment around the forum, and I think I had a problem with the forum as well. I couldn't actually load it properly. It might just be that loads of people got onto it at the same time yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But is there an alternative community forum is what he's asking.
This has come up. People have asked, hey, should we do a Slack channel? Should we do a Discord group? Maybe, right? Maybe we should. I haven't created anything officially, so that nothing exists right now, but I'll think long and hard about that this weekend. And I think it probably makes sense. So it's probably more than likely that I'll go ahead and create something, but I'll let you guys know. And maybe we'll keep the forum, certainly for the regular monthly updates. But if you want more real-time chat, maybe we'll have a Discord or a Slack channel or something. So
yeah, you got 4 votes for Slack, just so you know, Spencer.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. The forum, like any entrepreneur, I've kind of done these things. Like I come up with the idea first and then just see what happens. And we kind of broke the forum a couple times. So we're working through that. I appreciate the patience. Working through some tech challenges there, but it's good. We got way more people than I expected to join this. So, all right, I have just a couple other things that I want to run through, but feel free, please, to interrupt me or ask any additional questions. I do want to make this interactive. You guys have been great. So, just to give people an idea of how many people have joined. So the tail of the tape, right? Yeah. So far, the build an SEO site with AI content, 139 participants. And immediately following this call, I'm going to end the application process. So technically people could join in the next, 30 minutes or whatever it is. But 139 people, that is well beyond, that's probably at least twice what I thought was maybe the high end of people that I thought would be willing to do this. So it's awesome. I'm beyond excited. The Grow an Existing Site with AI Content Challenge has 78 participants, which again is way beyond what I was expecting for that. And then community members that have joined the Niche Pursuits community, 1,442, and that number will continue to climb. And so a lot of people are, in the community, are participating. Now there's a lot more people, of course, within the Niche Pursuits ecosystem that are following along, maybe just more casually, they get the email updates or something like that. So that gives people an idea of just the sheer quantity of participants. Okay, and then how to win, we already talked about that. AI content strategies, we touched on this a little bit, but again, I don't want to give my opinion. There's lots of different strategies that people could follow here, right? Do you mass publish, right? Do you figure out, some tech stack? Thomas is a lot smarter than some of us in terms of technology. Maybe he could figure out certain scripts that, you could just publish like 1 million articles, right? And that's one strategy. And there's tools that really make it easy with a little bit of work to potentially do something like that. But is that a good strategy? I'm going to leave that up to you to decide, right? Do you kind of do the speedy sniper approach, which is, okay, you're still picking out specific keywords. You're targeting, you're hand picking. You're not just kind of publishing on everything, but then you're just kind of sniping those, but doing it quickly because you have AI tools, so you can still publish maybe a lot of content. Do you do kind of slow and steady where you're editing that content, you're maybe writing some of that content like April's going to be doing, either writing introductions or using other tools to help you, but then you're massively editing that, but you're just doing 3 or 4 articles every day and making sure it's great quality. That's an approach.
Hey, Spencer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. A quick question on the tool, and not to sway anyone's mind, but what's your go-to AI tool?
Yeah, I think that's actually my next slide here, maybe.
Okay.
I talk about SEO strategies, but yeah, let's jump into it now. Again, there are so many AI tools out there, and lots of them are really, really good. And so I really am going to leave it up to you guys to pick which tool you use. There's probably tools I haven't heard of because there's new ones being created all the time that maybe is the best way to go. I am using Koala Writer on some of my sites. And so I do like that. They have some nice features for that automatically import things into WordPress and things like that. I will just say that in general, maybe I will just skip ahead to this slide, that a lot of AI tools are just powered by OpenAI, right? So even though they're all different tools, it's all the same technology behind it. And so you can actually just go directly to OpenAI and pay $20 a month, to get the premium features there. And I'm doing that on Niche Pursuits. I have my writers go directly into OpenAI and we're crafting articles right there. So that's an approach. Google Bard is a free tool. There's some differences. I'll let you research what those are. But they have made some massive updates just last week, I think, to Google Bard that make it kind of interesting to potentially look at.
When you say $20, you mean for ChatGPT Plus?
Yes.
Or are you saying, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that is correct. That I would have to look at the differences, but it gets, ChatGPT 4 and more, you can do more content as well. So, and then Koala Writer, like I mentioned, Surfer SEO has an AI, article tool. You have to pay for those each and every article, so it's maybe a little more expensive. And then there's a host of hundreds of other AI tools. And so I really don't. What you see on the screen here maybe is not the best way to go. probably somebody that's going to win this challenge will use either a combination of this or a completely different tool. So don't let this slide sway anybody's decision too much. That's what I would say, if I'm honest. So
I'd say build your own. I totally agree with you on everything is powered by OpenAI anyway. The API is not that challenging, honestly, to figure out. It's pretty well written. If you've ever done any like Python coding or anything, it's amazing how quickly you can jump in and put something together that's custom. So I know that's what I'm going to be doing, going from YouTube to blog posts with a tie-in to the GPT-4 API. So check it out. I mean, it's a great opportunity to play around with it for something like this.
yep.
So watch
I
out for
agree.
April and Thomas.
That's right.
Yeah, game
I like
on.
it. They're throwing down the gauntlet. Yeah, and you know, if you're not technical by nature like Thomas, and oh man, I can't create my own custom script, you can hire somebody or you can find somebody to work with you, right? You could do these things pretty cheaply, to be honest, right? So probably a few $100 you could have some sort of custom thing that is working perfectly for you. So
Yep.
I'll just throw that out there. That is
Spencer,
another
that
sort of
brings
rule
up a
that,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Is teaming up allowed, or it's solo?
What do you guys say? We'll let everybody on the video chat give a thumbs up or thumbs down. What do you guys say? Can you team up? I think I'm seeing all thumbs up. So Brian doesn't want anybody to team up, but yeah, why not team up? It's just less prize money for you at the end. You got to split it with your partner, but that's fine. Okay. I was going to show a couple of examples. Just, again, sort of pure inspiration of like, here's what you can do. And a couple of sites of like, okay, here's what people are doing. So in fact, just a couple of days ago, okay, the 19th, this is in the Niche Pursuits Facebook group. This is somebody that created a brand new site 3 months ago, and they're now getting 500 visitors a month, right? And they've published 280 articles. Each article is about 3,000 words. And they are using a couple of tools like Rank Math for instant indexing. They're using OpenAI, it looks like. He's got his personal built AI tool, but he's not mass publishing, right? 280 articles in 3 months is not an insane amount. But that kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, after 3 months, you can be getting 500 visitors a month, right? Starting to get some traction. And then my guess is that after that time is when you can quickly, ramp up. You're indexed in Google, and hopefully Google's liking your site, sees what you're doing, and you can just expand from there. Right, so that is maybe a small site, a small success, and then we have things like this. This is shared in the SEO Signals Lab. This is a website called I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's pwb.in. It's a Indian domain that is getting. Where does it say here? I was looking at it at Ahrefs, but it's like 12 million organic traffic. And if you look at it in Ahrefs, it's just like a straight line. It's only a few months old as well. So this site, it was built on an expired domain. They published, their first article in July, 5,000 articles in August, 15,000 articles in September, and so far, right? And 12 million organic according to SEMrush. That's right. It shows less in Ahrefs, but it's still like just this straight line. And their niche, what they're doing is they're basically covering kind of celebrities, like is Deion Sanders still married, right? Troy Aikman divorce stuff, right? So a lot of these things that maybe not a highly profitable niche, but something that certainly can get a lot of traffic. And they are just cranking out, automated articles based on AI. So This is one that has taken off quickly. It is with an expired domain, so you can't do that in this particular challenge unless you join the existing site challenge. You could do that. But that's the potential here, right? Will this site last? Probably not. It's probably going to get crushed by Google in a few months, right? So this wouldn't be a long-term strategy. But according to Ferry here, he estimates that they're making, at least £60,000 per month in income from display ads. So do either of these examples bring up any comments or questions from anybody that's kind of listening in here? If not, that's okay. I've got one other example that I did want to review. So maybe we'll do that. So this is just kind of some motivation of like, okay, here's what you can potentially be doing with a new or an existing site. And then I will share my own. So this is actually for nichepursuits.com. And this is a screenshot of Rank Logic. So this is only new content. And if I go down, so this is 238 articles. So this is my basket of AI assisted articles. So these are articles that I'm just using OpenAI for. And we do heavily human edit this content. I've shared my full process. There's a YouTube live on Niche Pursuits that people can watch that video. So if you have an existing site, you could follow that process. Or if you have a new site, you could follow the same process for generating the content. But basically, we create the content in sections. You can't just go in and ask ChatGPT to write a 3,000 word article. That's not going to work well. But if you kind of break it up into subheadings or sections, that works a lot better. And then you put it all together and have an editor either write an introduction or make it flow a little better. That's exactly what we're doing. And so just to give people an idea, I mean, this isn't the fastest way to publish content. My editors do still spend 2 to 3 hours per article to create these, right? But we've been able to see tremendous results. So over a period of, since April is when we started doing it. And now, at least the last day, right, almost 8,000 clicks from Google to those 238 articles. And all those articles, again, were generated with AI. They were heavily human edited, but generated with AI. And so it's working really well. And so that's why I'm also fascinated with this challenge, because I am doing it on my own sites and I'm seeing nice results. And so I do think if you approach it properly, you can do it in a way that Google is going to rank this content. They're still going to like it and they're going to reward that. So I'll
Spencer,
pause.
is this monetized?
Is it monetized? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, with primarily with display ads, it is monetized.
What's your go-to network?
Say that again?
Like, what network do you prefer? Mediavine, AdThrive, Google Ads?
Yeah, I'm currently on Mediavine, but Raptive or AdThrive is also great if you achieve those traffic levels, right? And with Niche Pursuits, anybody can go look at Niche Pursuits. There's a whole ecosystem. So yes, these articles are making money with display ads, but a lot of these people also join my email list, right? And then my email list feeds into a lot of other things that I have software tools or other articles that I send them to with affiliate offers, right? And so the traffic and the display ads is just one piece of the picture. There's a whole business behind it as well. But even with just the display ads, if somebody were able to replicate this, I think they'd be pretty happy, with those types of results. All right. Let me see here. So those were some of the examples that I wanted to share as far as sites and different things that you could be doing. And then, okay, I do think that you do need to be following some general SEO strategies, right? I think in this particular challenge, especially if you're building a new site, that niche selection is going to be critical here. And I don't want to sway anybody's opinion on what the best niche is. I will just say that for this particular challenge, we're looking for traffic instead of earnings, right? But if you want to be building a site that is making more money, maybe don't let this challenge sway you, right? Maybe join the challenge just to stay motivated with the group, but you may end up making a lot more money with a lot less traffic. So that decision is up to you. But I do think that somebody that comes in with a creative approach that maybe finds a unique niche or does something a little bit different could have sort of a hand up in this competition. All right, targeting low competition keywords is going to be critical for this as well, because it is such a short challenge. You don't have a lot of time to build a lot of authority and to rank for really difficult keywords. And so you're probably going to want to be targeting things that are lower competition, that maybe you're looking at sites, you know, when you look at the SERPs, maybe you're going to be looking for other sites that are newer that are also ranking. And that might be the types of keywords that you go for. Is like, okay, if site XYZ just started 6 months ago and they're already ranking well, maybe I can do the same thing. So that, again, don't let me sway you, but that might be how I would be thinking about this. And then solid on-page SEO really is going to be important. You know, just publishing a million articles maybe isn't going to get you there. You're going to need to be, you know, great formatting, you know, meta description. You might be wanting using rank math to make sure, or Yoast SEO, or any other SEO plugin to make sure you've got that on-page, those on-page factors dialed in. You're going to want to be doing internal linking if you have a lot of content between your articles to be able to kind of show Google how things are connected on your site, and you have a great site structure. So I'm just kind of planting that seed for participants here that this can't just be a publish and pray, right, approach. You're going to need to publish, do some on-page optimization. You might even need to do some off-page SEO, link building. That's okay. You can do some natural link building, whatever approach that you want to take to get your site indexed and build some authority in the SERPs. Might be some things that you need to be doing. I'm allowing any participant to do that, so we'll kind of see what happens there. All right. Let's see what else. I went over AI tools here. Okay, and I will just, again, state high level here. I really do think that creativity and hustle will win this competition. Creative solutions using AI is going to be better than mass spam, in my opinion. So somebody prove me wrong if they want to do that, but that's my opinion. I think that those looking to cut corners likely aren't going to be winning this competition. And again, it's interesting because this competition certainly is going to attract a lot of people that are looking to cut corners, because we're talking about, oh, let's just use AI to do everything. But I don't think that's going to be the person that ends up winning, right? So somebody that can put in a couple hours a day that really focuses on their site, I think that's somebody that's going to be that's going to do a little bit better, right? So if you're able to put in that time, that hustle every day to really focus on your site and make sure it's performing well, I think you're going to have a great shot of winning. Okay. And yeah, just can you create something that you're proud of that you can look back on and see what you were able to accomplish after 3 or 6 months? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to open it up basically for questions at this point, but anybody that would like to use Link Whisper, there is a coupon code. They can use the coupon code challenge, and that will give you $25 off of Link Whisper to do your internal linking. I've already had a couple of people ask me about that, and so that's why I brought this up here, is that if you're participating in the challenge or following along, you can use that coupon code challenge to get Link Whisper to help you do your internal linking. There's a lot of automated link building features that are built in. There's a lot of manual features as well that help you speed up the process. But of course, that's my go-to tool. And for those unaware, I am the creator and owner of Link Whisper. But if you want to check it out, no pressure. You can go over and use challenge to get $20 off of Link Whisper. All right, so I think I covered mostly what I wanted to cover, high level at least. Let's open it up for any questions. I'm going to maybe go over to the chat and see if I missed anything. And then certainly if you're on the video call, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any additional clarifying questions or thoughts that you might have.
Problem building in public?
What do you mean by that?
Just in the forums, I was planning on posting more frequent updates because I don't really think I'm going to win, but I'm really wanting to learn and get feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do that, of course, is just show everything. So that's the nature of the question.
Yeah, absolutely. You are welcome to build in public, to share as much as you want on the forum. If you want to be posting daily, that's great. And I think that there's a lot of people that would like to follow along. And so I would encourage people to, post as much as you're comfortable with. If you have questions, the forum is there. I'll have some required checkpoints, like I said, roughly monthly, that will make sure everybody checks in. But you can share more than that. Absolutely. And then, yeah, April looks like is asking, are you going to do the video chats like this one throughout? We are going to do some calls. I don't know the frequency of those, but there will be more. I would say there's going to be at least a couple of more video chats that we do throughout the challenge. I may even, I can't promise anything, but I may try to bring in like some experts, right? Maybe somebody that has a very specific strategy for using AI content or AI tools that they can come on and talk about that particular tool or their particular strategy. I may do that as well to kind of offer tips or inspiration for people that want to try something out as well.
That's exciting. I think that's really cool. I think we should do that, Spencer. That's
All right.
awesome.
Yeah, cool. So upvote for that because, yeah, I certainly don't want to lead every single video call. So I think maybe I'll bring other people on to help out. And I'm going to monitor any other questions here on YouTube Live, but you guys feel free to chime in if there's anything else.
I'm curious what people think about the, any impact the helpful content update and all the craziness happening there now. Like, does that change your strategy? Maybe that's a question for the others on the call here. Does that change the way you're approaching it? Have you seen, hits to some of your sites that have made you go, okay, this is, either a reason to pivot your strategy or lean into AI content more heavily? I'm just curious what others have been seeing there.
Thomas, I have more than a few sites, and I thought I had got away scot-free, and then looking at analytics over the past 2 days, it's like some of the sites seem to have fallen off the cliff a little bit. I mean, not too bad, only like a 10% change. So I haven't really gone and dug into the analytics to see what lost rankings or where I'm losing the traffic. But for this project, what I did do is last night I went in and kind of updated my about page, added some social links. So before, the site didn't have my name or anything on it. So I went ahead and added that, and I'm going to connect more social profiles to it just for that, expertise, authority, trust kind of signals and see. But as far as the AI content, I'm not really going to change anything other than what I've already described here.
Yeah, anybody else want to chime in on the helpful content update? Jared and I just sat down yesterday, and I just released it here about an hour ago. We did a whole sort of deep dive discussion on the podcast about, who was impacted, sharing some of our own results and thoughts behind that. But also curious if that's going to change anybody's approach for this particular challenge.
For me, it's not. I'm just going to maintain course. I've never really linked helpful content with Google to begin with. So I think they're really helpful to their advertisers. So it's not that you can't ignore them. They're the elephant in the room. But on the other hand, I'm not going to react every 10 seconds every time they make a change. Being a programmer like Thomas, I'm used to programmers making mistakes. It could just be a huge bug in the rollout. You just never know. And so it's hard to try to constantly navigate the ship. So I don't plan on focusing on that. I plan on focusing on what the customers in the niche want. That's going to be my focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a fair approach. And we don't know what's going to happen when they finish rolling out the helpful content update. It may last another week where they do, turn back some of the dials a little bit, and maybe a lot of these sites, come right back. So we don't know, but I think in general, I like what April brought up. That is an interesting approach. I'd be curious to hear anybody else's thoughts on this. Of like, how do you become the face, or how do you establish expertise even though you are using AI content, right? And is that something you're going to think about, right? I think we're going to have all sides of the spectrum here. I think we're going to have people that create fake personas and mass produce, right? And then maybe there's another perspective here. Have you guys been thinking through that? Are you going to be the face of your site?
I've been thinking about being the face of the site, but also in the articles, going and leaning on some of my friends that are like certified financial planners, right? And being like, hey, they looked at it and edited it, or approved by this CFP or something like that, where you're not just lending on your authority, but also other people have looked at it, edited it, and approved it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good approach. Yeah, I'll be curious to, again, this is going to be such a great experiment to be able to look back and go, oh, that's the approach that works really well. Or, boy, they came out of the gate strong and then they got crushed, right? And maybe we don't take that approach. What that'll be, I don't know. But this is going to give us so much data to analyze and look at.
I do have another question just occurred to me on the sort of logistics side. Does Google Discover traffic count as organic?
Somebody asked me this question in the forum, and I'm trying to remember what I said.
Because it shows up in Search Console, but it's in a separate tab, right?
I'm pretty sure that I said yes, it counts. And I think that's the right approach, because essentially the idea is how much traffic from search engines are we getting? Are our sites getting? And does anybody have an opinion? If I'm leaning towards yes, and I think I've already said yes, so I think I need to stick with that Google Discover does count. But if anybody wants to argue me on that, let me know. What do you think?
I have a couple sites that get pretty decent Discover traffic, and at least the way that I look at it is you have to be doing something right for Discover to pick up the article, right? It's not like you can go pay to have Discover pick it up or anything like that. So I think you're right. I think it should count.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, let's count it. Good question. Thank you, Thomas. Because I have a couple sites that every once in a while they get Google Discover, and I've tried to invest in that and try to make it happen. It's really hard to replicate. So if you can tap into that, why not? Let's reward it.
On that same front, Spencer, what about Google Web Stories? Traffic because obviously web stories, typically most people set them up to have separate tracking, but then there is click-through to the site, right?
Yeah, let's count it. Should we just make a blanket statement that if it's on Google Search Console, like that counts? Because there's also Google Images, right? And Google Web Stories, and maybe something else I'm missing. But I think so. I think let's count that as organic traffic. If it's coming from Google, we'll count it as organic traffic.
Ashley is asking in the comments, does organic social count?
Organic social does not count. I think she's, if Pinterest, right? If you're getting a bunch of Pinterest traffic, right? You show up organically in Pinterest, organically in Facebook. That doesn't count. It's really when you look at your Google Analytics, they break it down pretty well. That's a separate category, right? That would be social traffic. They would put Pinterest and Facebook and Twitter in social traffic. So no, organic social traffic does not count for this.
So Spencer, are you leaning more then towards, when you kind of do your judging and your analysis, that you're going to be looking at impressions or clicks in Search Console and not in analytics then?
That is correct. I'm hoping that there's a clear winner. and that I can just, we can look and it's like, oh, they're obvious. But if it's really close, I may need to kind of analyze both Google Analytics, to add up Bing and DuckDuckGo and whatever, and Google Search Console. So in general, yeah, I'm going to use both, but yeah, if you can, show a strong Google Search Console, I think that's probably the easiest. So. Somebody's asking, it's organic, not purchased, right? Maybe he's clarifying somebody's question, but yeah, you can't have purchased traffic to your site in any way, and there'll be ways to verify that. So you can't buy traffic.
Ashley's asking, is the winner the highest number or the highest percentage of growth?
It's the highest number. The highest number. So if it's an existing site, I think the way that I wrote it out for the existing site is the total amount of organic traffic over the entire period, over 90 days. So I'm not really looking at growth per se. It's just, did you get the most organic traffic during the challenge? Okay. Got some people talking about using programmatic SEO, other things that they're going to do during the challenge. Yeah, some people are just asking, they've noticed that in the past, some of their AI content has had trouble getting indexed. So what tools are they going to use? Or what AI detection tools are people going to use? I'm going to kind of leave that up to people, right, to decide if they want to use any sort of indexing tools or even, AI detection tools. That's up to anybody's individual opinion. Sylvia is asking, do images in our content also need to be AI generated? And so no, just to clarify, not every single piece of content needs to be AI generated. You can take original pictures and use that. You can have part of your article be written by AI, or you can use AI to generate the outline, and then you can write certain pieces, and then you use AI to generate images. As long as you're using AI in the content, that counts. Dee Dee is asking, I may have entered the wrong challenge. I bought my domain a couple of months ago. Would that be a new site or an existing? Well, it's an existing, I guess. Really the idea is to have purchased it, as close as possible to September 20th. But you can still participate. It really only becomes a problem if you win, right? I mean, that's really the end of it. It's like, if you bought it a few weeks ago, you could still really participate. But if you end up winning this, I don't know. I might have to eat my own words. I might have to give 2 people prizes or something. I don't know. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm going to get poorer and poorer the longer this challenge goes. Let's hope there's one clear winner. Any other questions? I sorry if I missed you on the YouTube live. I know there is a number of other questions here. Yeah, sorry if I missed your question in the YouTube live. But is there any additional questions, either for anybody that here is live on the call here or in the chat? If not, I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to.
A couple of folks in the chat are asking for the new site challenge, if the winner is the highest total number over the 6 months, or the highest, like from month 5 to 6. They said the challenge page said from 5 to 6.
Yes, that is correct. So it is the highest from month 5 to 6. So the last 30 days of organic traffic is essentially what I'm looking at, right? And so that is a difference between those two challenges. So thanks for clarifying that. So if you're building a brand new site, and again, the reason I did that is just that it's going to take sites 3 or 4 months really to get picked up, right? And so I don't want to just reward the couple of sites that were, for whatever reason, after month 1, their site took off and they just win because they've got 5 months of great, organic rankings. Really just want to look at the last month where everybody's had a chance to get indexed, and we'll just look at that previous day. So that is who the winner will be for that.
But for the existing site challenge, it's overall traffic for the 3 months for those new
That is
pages?
correct.
Gotcha.
That is correct. Yep, because they don't have those indexing problems. Their site should already be there. And so I just figured let's count all 90 days of traffic for the existing sites. If you're working on multiple sites at once, can they all be entered into the contest? Yes, you can enter multiple sites into the contest, but you better hurry because as soon as I finish this call, I'm going to shut down the application process. I've already got way too much to handle here. And so it's a lot of fun though. I mean, I say it's a lot to handle, and it is. It's a lot of work that I've created for myself. I've got 130 some odd entry videos that I need to finish watching. And then, updates, we're going to have additional video updates. And so there is going to be so many video updates. But big picture wise, I do plan on, we're doing these calls throughout the challenge. We've got these video updates, and it's going to be cool to watch along the forum, but I'm going to edit this all down to a series of, I hope, very cool YouTube videos to watch that will include a lot of the clips and will be produced well. And so at the end of it, we should have some great videos that we can look back on and watch that are exciting. And we can all just learn from the challenge as well. So, but overall, that's pretty much it. I just want to thank everybody so much for joining the challenges. I'm excited to see what happens. I hope you guys are inspired a little bit, have some ideas. The wheels are turning. That was really the point of this call, is, again, to go over some of the rules, lay the groundwork, and then just motivate you to get out, start doing the work, and give you some ideas and some strategies that you can implement. And at this point, let's just kind of see what happens. And then we'll check back in, watch your email. I'll send emails out for when the next check-in call or update will be. I am sort of thinking that in a couple of weeks, we'll do another update, and then monthly after that. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, just thank you so much, everybody, for joining the call, whether you're live here on video or in the chat. It's been a pleasure connecting here, and until next time, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Spencer.
Thanks, Spencer.